And a warm welcome to all our viewers across Sydney, across Australia, and indeed the world on this Easter Saturday, New South Wales Rugby TV, and we come to you from Rothwell Park, the home of Briars Rugby since 1923, and for the first time in our 103rd year of competitive rugby, our women's first 15 hosting a home game here at Rothwell, just their second ever game for competition points. Wasn't a nice start for them last week. However, they came up against the reigning premiers Sydney Uni and therefore are still looking for their first points of any kind in competition. We hope that it will come today, and maybe even some Easter chocolates heading out to Rothwell Park after this one as well. And their opposition, the Two Blues, well, they were in the Div 2 comp last year, but it's a new season, and last week they went down to Manly at home at Eric Tweedale. It's 6th versus 10th on a 10-team ladder, but it shouldn't be that much of an issue given it is week 1 of the Knight Frank New South Wales Rugby Union Women's Premiership. It's a new season, and really for the Briars 15s, a lot of players getting new opportunities given that the majority, 6 of the 15 last week are over in Borneo as we speak. For the Borneo Sevens. 2-minute signal from our referee, Mr. Wayne Rubin. And you are watching history about to be made here at Rothwell Park. What's maybe most interesting to me is for a club called the Two Blues, a distinct lack of any blue on their playing jersey by the look of it, unless they're going to do a quick change. Eras to a style maybe. But maybe at this point, it is just going to be the camos from Western Sydney, the former Parramatta Rugby Club, now known as the Western Sydney Two Blues for the last couple of years. The Briars, same name and really same everything since 1923 in rugby terms, 1918 since the foundation of the Briars Sporting Club in Appian Way, Burwood. A proud day in our history today. Our women's side, their first ever home 15-a-side game. Again, in this Knight Frank New South Wales Rugby Union Women's Premiership. And Knight Frank, your partners in property, supporters of women's rugby in New South Wales since 2022. If you want to find out more about the Sydney Women's Rugby competitions, go online to sydneywomen's.rugby. This is the Chikarovsky Cup, formerly the Jack Scott Cup, Division 1, at least in club terms in Sydney, the Premier 15s competition. This is essentially the women's equivalent of the Shoot Shield. And of course, Parramatta or Western Sydney, the Two Blues, whatever you want to call them, a district club for a number of years now, compete in that Shoot Shield as well. Briars, if it's your first time seeing us out here at Rothwell Park, a suburban rugby club, formerly sub-districts as it was known, but our women's side flying the flag in elite level competition in Sydney. Anthony Deep with you for the call this afternoon from Rothwell Park. Again, first time these two teams will be meeting in 15-a-side competition, but last time we saw the Two Blues here at Rothwell Park last year was round 2 of the WX Shield, and that night Briars won 38 points to 29 on their way to a losing effort in the final against the dominant Borough Rays. And there won't be much happening around the grounds, at least in the Chikarovsky Cup. 3 games already been played in this round and 1 more to come after full time in this one. Sydney Uni continue their winning run, 22 points to 10 winners over Warringah. Wildfires defeated Campbelltown Harlequins 15-6, and Manly defeated South last night. Not often I enjoy saying that, and certainly don't now, but 29-10. Southern Districts going down to the Mermaids from Manly. Wayne Rubin has blown his whistle, our referee. as we await a historic moment here at Rothwell Park, the home of Briars Rugby since 1923. Now, first ever women's first 15 about to run out onto the ground for the first time. A special moment and a tunnel that looks like it's going to be growing, featuring a few of our Barraclough Cup representatives, runners-up last year to Newport, and unfortunately not the start they would have hoped for away at Petersham last week. No games of subbies this week for the Easter break. But Sydney Rugby Union keeps going, shoot shield action, and of course, women's competition as we await the arrival of our teams. Two proud rugby clubs with long and distinguished histories. In some ways, maybe star-crossed lovers you could call them, have really not had much in common in the men's game. The women's game about to find themselves fierce on-field rivals. Both teams looking for their first points of the year, first competition points for the year. Briars could not get on the scoreboard last week. Two Blues got 12 points on the board, and here they come. And there they are in the Two Blue jersey. Western Sydney, as they are now known and have been for the last couple of years, formerly Parramatta. And for the first time in 103 years, Kowhairua Whare leads out of Briars women's first 15 onto Rothwell Park, a historic moment. I've been here for 10 years, and as far as I'm aware, and I tried to look it up, this may be the highest level of rugby this ground has ever hosted. Knight Frank, New South Wales Rugby Union Women's Premiership, Div 1 Chikarovsky Cup action, essentially again the women's shoot shield. Briars, a traditional subbies club, sub-district level. Parramatta, Western Sydney, the Two Blues, full stop, and long-time district club. Now it looks like their fly half, Juliana Collier, will kick us off on this historic day here at Rothwell Park in Concord, the heart of Sydney's inner west. A little bit of a local derby. A kilometre or two northwest of Concord Oval, the home of the West Harbour District Club. But it's Briars territory today. Your referee, Wayne Rubin, about to blow time on. And we're off. District level rugby at Rothwell Park. How good is it? Anthony Deep with you for the call, and Briars will have first use of the Gilbert. Ball has been stolen away. Two Blues on the attack early doors, right into the 22-metre zone. Faith Manu, the 9. Goes short to Tongia in the 3. Nelena Tongia. Strong rucking from the Two Blues, as you would expect from this club in any grade. Certainly not shy of contact or the scrimmage, or scrummage even. Back to Tongia. Takes 4 or 5 gold jerseys to bring her down. Collier through their hands to Felisa. Felisa for the corner. It's not Felisa, in fact that was Futialo who puts the ball down pretty much uncontested. And our first 15-a-side women's scrum in Briars history on Rothwell Park about to come. Yes, I am going to keep reiterating that point. A lot of people here who have put a lot of work into getting this Briars Women's Rugby Club off the ground and getting a first 15s side on the ground. June Orr, the Briars scrum half, to feed. Strong push by Two Blues. They go down at the back. and Briars, something we didn't see a lot of last week. Clearing the ball out of their 22, it takes a nice bounce for them. Teletaina outside through the hands again. Samurai Padiachung in the 14 jersey. Majority of the game, a bit like the start of last week against Uni, being played in Briars' own quarter. Dummy from Kezia Antonio. Briars' counter ruck is strong, but eventually concede defeat. Emma Louise Felisa in the number 1 jersey. And Briars earn a penalty. Pressure averted at least temporarily. And Two Blues come away empty-handed from the first 2 ventures into the Briars 22-metre zone. Touch is found and almost takes out the Western Sydney bench. Not often you see someone in a number 8 jersey throwing in at the line out, but there we go, and it's knocked on by the Briars. And Two Blues will have use of the Gilbert 2 metres ahead of the 10 metres line on the green side of halfway for them, the positive side, moving forward post-contact. 35-minute halves in the Chikarovsky Cup. Back to Felisa. Offloads to Nelina Tongia again. About 35, maybe even less away from Briars' line now, closer to 30. Sweeping backline play here. Through their hands go the Two Blues, and they find the overlap but can't find the hands. Referee right over the top of it. It's a knock-on against the Two Blues. The Briars survive once more. A good start so far defensively for the Briars, and continuing where they left off in the second half of that game against Uni last week. The scoreboard, as I said, very unflattering to them. Defence was much improved in the second half, and that's how they've started so far in this opening 5 minutes. No score as of yet. While the scrum packs, I'll recap scores for you from earlier in this round. Manly defeated South 29 points to 10. Wildfires defeated the Campbelltown Harlequins 15 points to 6. And earlier today, Sydney Uni defeated Warringah 22 points to 10. And also for our Briars supporters watching our team over in Borneo, so 6 of the players from last week's defeat to Uni unavailable for selection today, and over in Malaysia. Played earlier this morning, went down our women's side 17 points to 14 against the Singapore development squad. But our men's side had a win over All for One 22 to 5 earlier this afternoon. Now that we're all caught up, the scrum is fed by June Orr. 30 away, another strong push from the Two Blues, but can't overturn it just yet. Not shying away from the contact. Slow to come, Briars eventually get over the ball and secure possession. Shooter comes up, maybe a bit too upright there. Referee's got something in back play. Is it offside or is it a high shot? Just the offside, says referee Rubin. And once again, Briars a penalty in their own half. Haven't been this side of halfway yet, or the good side of halfway rather. Tap and go looks to be the option here, with a few sweepers running out the back, trying to stack this line left. Another strong upright tackle, wraps her up, takes her to ground. Briars secure possession for the time being. Have struggled to get through the gain line in their previous match, but again, it's a new day here at Rothwell Park. Through their hands once more. Scarlett Heather in the 10. Strong and quick counter up from Two Blues, not in time. Or blindside, coughs it up. Put down on the ground. And it's a penalty against the Briars this time. Two Blues will go back on the attack. 6.5 gone, still no score here at Rothwell Park. Alison Futialo puts it into touch, and it's marked just shy of about 30 metres from Briars' goal line. Worth mentioning as is pretty common, as there's a short arm penalty. We'll come back to that. There's an infringement in the line out, and Briars once again gets somewhat of a reprieve. Junor taps it. A very seven style penalty option here again. Briars very accomplished in sevens and tens a bit last year as well. And it's a penalty against the, no, against the two Blues. So again, Briars with another penalty and discipline at the moment, alleviating a fair bit of pressure for the Briars. Can they come up with something here? Get out of their own half for the first time in this match, and there they go over halfway. Rolling the two Blues back now. Well, the entire two Blues defensive line has gone early there. Anyone who's watched Gridiron, that's almost a false start, everyone but the center situation there. They go the maul, so that'll kill the advantage. Junor taps quickly, wants to go quickly, referee allows it. Heather now in the 10. Briars women's 15 still looking for their first ever points in competition, and they're gonna have to wait because the two Blues have come away with it and gone right back over halfway. 45 metres from Briars' goal line, coughed up, stolen from in front of the ruck by the two Blues. It was already a penalty, says our referee. Tap taken quickly and going straight up the middle now, through the hands to the number 8. Shanice Talataina is going to open the scoring at Rothwell Park, and it's two Blues 5, Briars yet to score with the kick to come. The two Blues finally able to crack through the Briars line, and it comes on some heads up play, some broken play straight up the middle. And if my eyes didn't deceive me, which it's very possible they did, I think that's the number 8, Shanice Talataina. The first ever women's 15-a-side Chikarovsky Cup points on Rothwell Park. Put that in your diaries and remember that one. I used to take a bit of pride in my vision, but I've got the binoculars out more and more often these days, unfortunately. Kicks waved away by Alison Futialo, so the score remains Western Sydney 2 Blues 5, Briars yet to score. So Briars coming back for the kickoff. The rules essentially the same as a lot of the rugby you'd be accustomed to. Not scoring team kicking off, unlike in some of the smaller sided games. If you haven't watched 15-a-side previously, and the changes come through on Few Sport, I think the scorer was Anasafima Saya Perez in the number 8, because she's now listed there. Offloads it to Vika Nandaku rather. I was mentioning before, a lot of dual coders, as is pretty common in women's sports. A number of developmental and pathways rugby league players in both sides, particularly the two Blues. As we come back, it'll be a Briars scrum in very good attacking position here, about 27 metres from two Blues line. Again, we're still looking for our first point scorer and our first try scorer possibly. I just took a look to my right, and you may not be able to see him on screen, but a fair travelling contingent perched on the hill just outside the picket fence here at Rothwell Park. So a healthy crowd on this long weekend, Easter Saturday. No subbies this weekend, but Sydney Rugby Union and Women's Premiership games taking place. And again, Knight Frankie, your partners in property, they've been supporting women's rugby in New South Wales since 2022. If you want to find out more about Sydney Women's Rugby, you can visit them online at sydneywomens.rugby. As we await the scrum to be fed and won. Same scrum. June order feed. Another strong push from Two Blues, and I think this time, I thought they might have been receiving a penalty here. I think it's just a turnover scrum. The Two Blues will have the feed this time by the look of things, and they will. And again, we'll reset this scrum. I do just want to point out again for those who maybe this is their first time watching maybe the Briars women's side. Their first season, so their second game for competition points of women's 15-a-side action. A lot of players who've played 7s and 10s. And for the Two Blues, a number of players who have played a considerable amount of rugby league in development and pathways programs as well. So the scrums maybe not what either team are used to, as Two Blues go back into their 22 and through their hands again. And it's a strong line break, and right over halfway they look to go, and breaking well out of their own end. 40-odd metres on the run so far, and still going, and Faith Manu streaking away towards the 5, over the 5. That is a fantastic try to the visitors, and the Two Blues go up 10 points to 0, kick to come. The only concern they could really have, the Two Blues, in this opening 15 minutes is a considerable amount of possession in the 22, unable to yield points. And as soon as they get out of it, they almost find themselves with enough more space rather to work their magic. After that, maybe they want to pack every scrum in their own 22, at least their own half. It's another great try to the Two Blues against a run of play and from a long ways away. Could almost say that was from Burwood nearly. Futialo again, and much easier kick this time. Steps in and kicks it. Western Sydney Two Blues 12, Briars yet to score, 15 minutes gone. Scarlett Heather will get us back underway. Drop kick, about 30 metres it lands from the Two Blues line, and it's brought up again by Saya Perez. So again, a little bit of a shuffle in the team list from what was originally posted, but come to expect that around the grounds in club rugby. And again, the two Blues looking down this right-hand sideline in their right edge, causing the Briars defence to have to scramble once more. Elena Tongia once more. Now coming down the left-hand sideline again, Saya Perez getting her hands on the Gilbert. Manu in the 10 already has a try so far. The most recent scorer, Briars over the ball, wanting a penalty, but it'll be a knock-on instead, I think. And that's, I think, what referee Wayne Rubin is ruling, and it is. About 6 metres short of halfway. Two Blue scrum. I'm inclined to say dominant, but I don't think we've seen the best of Briars scrum as of yet either. Junor feeds once more, and again a strong push, and the Briars in a fair bit of strife at scrum time now. It's becoming a pattern. And Samurai Patiachung will eventually get wrapped up, and the advantage will expire, and the two Blues right on the junction of the attacking 10 metres line and the 15-metre tram mark will kick for touch. This one might not be able to find it. Good attempt there by Madison Brook to keep it in play, but fails to do so. Lands on the line, still considered out of play. Line out to come for two Blues, about 15 metres now away from the Briars goal line, looking for their third try. Just getting some try scorer names confirmed through Few Sports. So far, Juliana Colliot being listed as a try scorer. I think that play has been banned in the last season or two, and referee Rubin calls the penalty. Saw that so often for a long period just after COVID had cleared up, of players running into and leaving the line out to try and get short arms the other way. You now have to come set or something like that before you can be involved. I think that might be Emaranima in the 12 jersey at inside centre. She is listed at 13 here, but wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Show and go, trying to break out of the 22. Strong carry, bodies over the ball, and again, just sealing off as legally as possible. Goodacre has just taken a massive high shot. It's one of these awkward ones where they were falling into it. Referee Rubin straight to the pocket. What color is it? It's yellow. It's an unfortunate one, but it did not look very pretty from up here, I can guarantee you that much. We'll try and get the number of the player. As Briars kick for touch, it's shaking her head with a bit of a nervous smile there. I think she knew it was going to be a card. It's the number 1, Emma Louise Felisa, I believe. One of those unfortunate tackles where one player gets brought down from behind and then ends up awkwardly colliding with another. I think that one, referee shrugs his shoulders, we're playing on here. In any case, Briars failed to make the game line. Maybe that's a bit of, well, rugby karma, but Briars with it in any case. Gave everyone here a bit of a good chuckle, except those in the two Blues jerseys. And struggling to come away with possession now through the hands again. Went for the strip, gets the strip eventually. Two Blues on the attack once more. Melina Tongia in the 3 jersey, again with another carry as Ailani Penese keeps the play alive outside to Samurai Padiochung. Quick service, but it's pretty untidy. Penese again. 10 or so away from the Briars goal line. Royal Pesed, that's a high tackle the other way now. Referee just giving a verbal warning by the look of it. Faith Manu wants to go quickly. Another strong carry by Tongia. 2-3 meters away now. Through their hands, out to the 12 and looking for that offload. They find it. Now they have numbers. Good cover defense by Briars. Strong clean out. There are no bodies there now. Tries again with a big don't argue and gets the ball to ground, and it has to be no more than maybe an inch over the goal line, and it's 17 points to 0 in favour of the two Blues with a kick to come. And there's a Briar down as well, almost certainly in the act of trying to prevent the try there. Looks to be okay for now. The scoreboard not being friendly to Briars once again as they still look for their first points on field or on the ladder. And this two Blues side who lost it the first round as well. Looks like their O is about to go unless Briars can find something in the next 45 or so minutes. That kick is unsuccessful by Futialo, and the score remains Western Sydney 2 Blues 17, Briars still yet to score, 10.5 to go in the first half. So two Blues with 14 still find a way through with a big fend over the try line. And hang on a second, this is a penalty and this is a problem here. I think they're fielding one player too many. As I was just talking about the yellow card, referee Rubin has blown a penalty with an exasperated and frustrated look on his face and is doing a head count. I've said before, I shouldn't be surprised by anything I've seen. But this is the first time I can tell you I have seen a head count. Now, what does the manual say about this? This is a very interesting situation. This is incredible. And the linesman is still in discussion with our referee. He's not wearing an AR vest, so I'm assuming... I'm not sure if two Blues have remembered they've got a player in the sin bin. Emma Louise Felisa is sitting right on halfway. Well, I hope our camera operator got some good footage of that. And that's going to end up in a training manual for World Rugby soon. I get the thumbs up from him. And meantime, Briars have it against a depleted Two Blues line. Still playing a player down as far as we're aware. And referee Rubin seems to have given it the thumbs up. So I do wonder if maybe the penalty was for dissent by the linesman or something. He's still there. I don't want to pull a Michael Shamus and end up putting a rumour out there that ends up being unfounded. But he didn't order anyone off the field as far as we can tell, but the penalty still was given. Meantime, Briars behind their own 10 metres line and getting welcome to the Rothwell Park cricket pitch. Now they have an overlap, but it's precariously close to the touch line. Tackled right on halfway. Two Blues have to get their hands away, and they haven't done so, and there's a penalty again. It's a high tackle, I believe. Quick tap from June Orr. Brought down 30 away. Pop pass out to Lauren Goodacre. Keeping the play alive now, the Briars knocking on the door of the 22-metre zone of the Two Blues. They are all offside, have to retreat. Carreño trying to go through their hands, and play just stagnating a little bit. And Rainima, there's an advantage in back play and will come back for it rather. Marked on the 22 as Two Blues still failing to retreat here. A bit of indecision by the Briars because it's a very broken defensive line at the moment. Not a lot of urgency being shown. But with only 6 minutes remaining of this opening 35, you can almost understand it. And they have been, well, quite frankly, in a tight physical tussle. And that kick's going to fail to find touch. And now the Two Blues are going to counter-attack. And they've coughed it up 20 away from their own goal line. And now the Briars on the attack in the 22-metre zone again. Handling in the ruck. June Orr wants it. And there might be a dissent penalty here as well. And they've already got Felisa in the bin. And this might have continued. Is this going to be a card or a Stern talking to? As Felisa looks to be returning very shortly. They may end up with another person in the bin. The number 10, Faith Manu, being addressed there by the referee. June Orr again. Briars looking for their first ever points in women's 15s competition. Carreño outside to Goodacre. Goodacre brought down on the 5. Briars with it on the attack. Stolen again by the Two Blues and cleared away. Rainima has the overlap, can't get it out to there just yet. Looks like Felisa is still waiting to come back onto the field. So still with 14 for the time being. They want them all. It's a penalty advantage by the look of it. Maybe failing to release the tackled player, I'd be guessing. Maybe not, play on. Was telling the Briars to get back on side, I think in hindsight. Steal attempt there, and again the Two Blues 25 metres away from their own goal line. Through their hands they go. They're not content with kicking this one away as time ticks down into the final 4 minutes. No time on allowed in the Chikarovsky Cup until finals. It's another penalty against the Briars. And Felisa is coming back onto the field. I think this time we'll be staying on, back to 15 on 15. Tap taken by Samurai Pati Archung, and they go through the middle again. Latia Sione. Sione, no, that's Penese again in the 2 jersey. Hard to make out some of the numbers. Was that a knock on? Referee's playing on here. Again, much better view of it than we have up here. Another penalty advantage. The two Blues looking for a bonus point in the first half for their 4th try on 3 currently. Back we go. Referee Ruben puts the arm up, not rolling away the secondary signal. Samurai Party Chung again wants to tap it and go. Could take a long-range attempt at 3 here to go up 20 points to 0, but they're not content with doing that. 27, maybe 28 meters away now, the two Blues from the Briars goal line. Out the back they go to Manu. Show and go again. Great little dummy there from Taitana Patia Chung, and she will go through and put the ball down right next to the uprights, and Taitana Patia Chung with the 4th try for the two Blues in the first half, and that's a bonus point secured. Western Sydney 2 Blues 22, Briars yet to score, kick to come. Not the happy homecoming so far the Briars would have been hoping for. And again, the two Blues get it done from mid-range or further. So still a bit of confusion about what happened after the last kickoff, but I'm sure we'll get some clarification at the half or at full time. And of course, anything we do here, we will pass on to you as soon as we get it. Alison Futialo right in front of the sticks to put them up by 24, has hooked it, and that's half time, says referee Ruben. At the break, Western Sydney 2 Blues 22, Briars still yet to score. Second half in about 5 minutes time. Stay with us.
We're still recording, but if you want to rest, you can do that as well.
Yeah, it's all good.
Up to you.
When the referee blows the whistle, I'll read out the scorers and stuff. But yeah, just
I think I'd like the stream stays live,
Yeah.
but like, rest up if you need to.
all good. Thank you.
So about to return for the second half of this one. At the break, the two Blues, Western Sydney two Blues leading 22 points to 0 over the Briars, who are still looking for their first points of any kind in 15-a-side competition. Again, hoping to come away with the Easter chocolates today, but so far, that's heading up the M4 to Maryland's at the moment, courtesy of the Western Sydney two Blues. But still 35 minutes remaining in this Chikarovsky Cup clash, formerly the Jack Scott Cup, our top flight of women's club rugby in Sydney. Thanks to Knight Frank for sponsoring the Knight Frank New South Wales Rugby Union Women's Premiership. And again, Knight Frank are your partners in property, supporting women's rugby in New South Wales since 2022. If you want to find out more about Sydney women's rugby competitions, go online to sydneywomen's.rugby to find out more. Just repeating the earlier results for you while our teams return to the field. In this Chikarovsky Cup competition, 3 games already played, and again, Gordon Gazelles and East will be playing later this afternoon at 10 to 5. But so far this round, Sydney Uni defeated Warringah 22 points to 10. Wildfires defeated Campbelltown Harlequins 15 points to 6. And Manly defeated South's Southern Districts 29 points to 10. So haven't heard, again, we saw the referee after one of the kickoffs do a head count and blow a, got to say, very frustrated looking penalty on the hash mark. Still not sure what that was for. We assume they had one too many players on the field during that Simbin period. Not sure what the ruling was. Not sure of the effect it could have had. At the moment, we're staying with the score. Western Sydney 2 Blues 22, Briars yet to score. And 2 Blues, importantly, secured the bonus point right on the bell. Scarlett Heather to kick off for the Briars and get us back underway for our final 35 minutes. Lands at about 28 away from the 2 Blues line, who have been scoring from mid-range but couldn't convert possession in the red zone early in the contest, and now again trying to spread this back line. They're gonna have to shuffle across. It's a 3-on-1, and they do well at least temporarily, but now are getting cover. Rainima has to come across field. 5 in from touch, about 44 away from their own line now, the 2 Blues. Show and go again by Futialo. Still going, the 2 Blues, and they're about 35 away now from the Briars line. Benesse up towards the 22, maybe even over it, brought down from behind in the tackle of Madison Brook. Futialo again in the 12, shuffling through the defensive line and looking for try number 5, offloads it to the feet, and a knock-on is ruled. But the referee is coming back for a penalty. Offside, about 20 metres away from the Briars goal line and about 14.5 in from touch. Try scorers for the 2 Blues so far. Collier, I think, got the first try, followed by Saya Perez, Alison Futialo, and Taitana Pati Archung right on half time. Touch is found about 7.5 away from Briars goal line, as 2 Blues look for their 5th try of the match. Both teams again losing in round 1. 2 Blues looking to get their first competition points as well of this 2025 Chikarovsky Cup season. Taking a while to get to the line out, and it's been knocked on at the front by the Briars, so it'll be a scrum in lieu, basically. Just about on the same mark, right at the back of where the line out was. Dominant Two Blues scrum so far. I wonder if, like we saw last week, if Briars will start to get things rolling in the second a bit better. A much better effort defensively, especially in the second 35 last week at uni. Fed. This time it's more stable. It's an improvement from the Briars. Still comes away. Manu. Futialo outside again to the 13. Moafu. Oh, Talanga. And it's a forward pass. And the Briars will get a reprieve once more. I'm not sure how much a reprieve it will be, given that they will have to scrummage against this Two Blues side again. But it certainly wipes off a potential 5-pointer. Anthony Deep with you on commentary here from Rothwell Park, the home of Briars Rugby since 1923, in our first ever year fielding of women's first 15 side, or any 15s women's side for that matter, in 103 years of competition. Traditionally a sub-districts or suburban rugby amateur club. Obviously Western Sydney, the former Parramatta Two Blues, a long-time district club, have been around the Shute Shield for a while. But for Briars so far, this represents the highest level as far as I'm aware. As this scrum collapses, and we're going to have a chat by the look of it, or is the referee just going to get a different view for the next reset scrum? Don't think any players were properly down there, just down on their haunches. Although the trainer for Two Blues is now rushing onto the field. Can't see anyone down at the moment. Maybe a blood injury or something of that sort, but there is still a player down, in fact, on their knees, but it's a bit hard to see from up here. So a bit of a pause here. I do think the referee signal was just a reset, not a turnover. Again, no time on allowed in regular season Chikarovsky Cup games, despite being the women's first 15. Come the finals, however, of course, that will change. Still being attended to. Haven't seen a number just yet for that player that's down. Not sure if they're a front rower or not. Referee keeping a close eye on this, holding the mark, and you'll understand if I'm trying to fill time here, just trying to give any more info if I can see it. So she's back to her feet now, and the scrum looks like it's about to pack. Again, just trying to see if I can work out who was down. I think that was the number 2, Ailani Penese, in the end. in the hooking role. Briars will feed this scrum 15 away from their own line against a dangerous Two Blues pack. Junor wants to feed it quickly, feeds it, gets it out quickly, and now the Briars looking to counter. Not set on kicking out of territory here, and it's another strong carry. Referee almost ends up as a shepherd there. And it's been stolen by the Two Blues, and legally says the referee and not the other way. So another penalty in dangerous territory now. Saya Perez looks like she'll take a quick tap here. Sits on it for a while, now hands it off. I think that's Felisa. Again, back from her yellow card for a high tackle, possibly no arm tackle, depending on how the referee ruled it. Nothing too malicious, but it was quite an awkward collision. Two Blues still on the attack, about 10 away. Melina Tongia has had plenty of carries yet. No points to speak of, but probably deserves one if anyone does on the field. They go open side, around the side towards the base of the uprights, which I don't believe is legal to ground the ball on anymore for a try. Show and go again by Manu, causing all sorts of defensive headaches for the Briars. Ball is out, and Kofai Ruafare is right up there for the tackle, driving them back behind the game line, at least temporarily. And Saya Perez towards the line. Held up is the ruling. It'll be a goal line dropout. Great defense again from the Briars, who are missing 6 players over in Borneo from that last match, as we compete at the Borneo Sevens, and time is off and there's another injury. The physio being called onto the field, and I think unfortunately that is Anasofima Saya Perez. Already has herself a try, denied on the goal line. So while we have that break in play, the Briars just heading out over the dead ball line, almost as if they're waiting to go on for the next game. Our women's 7 side went down by 3 points to the Singapore development squad over in Borneo earlier this morning, 17-14. They'll be playing shortly after this game ends as well. Our men's side, however, got up against All for One, 22 points to 5 over in Malaysia. And recapping earlier results for you in this Chikarovsky Cup, Manly defeated Southern Districts 29 points to 10. Wildfires defeated Campbelltown Harlequins at home 15 points to 6. Sydney Uni defeated Warringah 22 to 10. And Gordon, the Gazelles, take on East at 10 to 5 Sydney time, which will be a bit after this game is finished. So interesting situation here. Goal line dropout has been ruled. Referee at least wants Briars in position and possibly Two Blues in position, so that once this injured player is moved to, I think again is Saya Perez in the 8. They're playing on here, so the referee said not in a position of danger. And the Briars will get the ball back. Dropout found touch in any case, but also knocked into touch by the Two Blues player. Had to walk the tightrope. Just couldn't find the handle on the Gilbert. Giuliano Collier there in the 14. Already has a try today. Not too hard done by. Ruafare throws in. Briars coming back out of their own 22 on the counter. Strong contact, as we've come to expect from this Two Blues side, a very physical side, and again a lot of dual code experience. Rainema does well to hold on to it, and it's put down afterwards. It'll be another scrum for the Two Blues in attacking territory. The agonising wait continues for the first points in Briars women's first 15 history. We'd be hoping it would come on our home patch, but at the moment the Two Blues consummate in defence and have been punishing with ball in hand as well. Bonus points secured right on halftime. Still 22-0 in favour of the visitors from Western Sydney. I'm not sure if that's an omen, but there is a big cloud of smoke blowing over the ground now from locally, maybe a few streets away. I hope it's just a barbecue or someone's put the fireplace on, but in the meantime, Two Blues coming off the back of the scrum. Futialo in the 12. Eventually gives it out to the fullback. And now out to the wing. Collier for the line. Gets there. 5-0. Tatiana Pati-Archung gives it out to the winger. Juliana Collier for a double. And it's Western Sydney 2 Blues 27. Briars yet to score with the kick to come. About 13 minutes into this second half. Futialo with the toughest assignment of the afternoon. It'll only be about 5 metres in from touch, maybe even closer to the touch line rather. She'll place it on the 22 just about. Should have a pretty good view of this one, but it'll be on a weaker side for the right footer. So drawing across the face of goal rather than swinging into it. Charge down ineffective, maybe just put her off enough because it stays right and the score stays. 2 Blues 27, Briars 0. With about 21 to go. And if you can hear the applause in the background, I think up in the pavilion here, they've got the men's side playing in the Borneo Sevens at the moment. Out of respect for our broadcasters today, I'm not going to go tell you where to watch that, but other streaming services are available, that's all I'll say. But again, thank you to New South Wales Rugby TV. Not just Sydney Women's Rugby and Chikarovsky Cup action, subbies on the Easter break, but we'll be back next week. And of course, Sydney Rugby Union lower grades as well today. And again, other streaming services are available for the other games going on about this time now. There's a penalty. In the meantime, it looks like it will go to the 2 Blues, and it will, 42 away from their own line. Inside the final 20 minutes of this one. And Tatiana Pati-Archung can't find touch. It's going to roll into the 22 towards the 5 and smartly cleared away over the sideline. Should be a pretty easy mark to find, considering it looked like it landed about 6 centimetres outside. About 36, 37 metres away this line out. This has been maybe the one area 2 Blues have lacked in so far in terms of restarts and set plays. What can they come up with? Because they've been scoring them from about this distance, more so than knocking on the Briars door. And it's stolen by the Briars this time, towards halfway, over halfway, left behind and stolen by 2 Blues. There's an advantage playing out, but the counter-attack is on. They have numbers now, having to come across in defence again. Juliana Collier looking for a third try and a hat-trick, in fact, and it's 30 metres away, ball with the 2 Blues. Time is off here. Was there a possible high tackle? Scarlett Heather, is that? No, that's Kelly Chan. It's a deliberate knockdown being signalled here, so it'll be a yellow card, and the Briars will be playing with 14 now. So a cynical infringement more so than foul play, as 2 Blues back on the attack and have had, well, not a lot of trouble cutting through 15 Briars, and now one less to worry about. and right on the attack inside the 22. Junor wanted the ball, and referee's going to say it's a penalty. Tap taken quickly and called back by referee Rubin. Could have been looking at a yellow card there for not retreating and getting involved, but in the meantime, it'll be two Blues back on the attack. Manu taps it, pass to Latiacione. 7 or 8 metres away now. Counter-up comes in, not quick enough, not strong enough, stolen away illegally by Emeranima. Benesse takes basically a hit up right towards the line, and the arm goes up, and it's the 6th try for the two Blues. The score now, two Blues 32, Briars yet to score. A disappointing way to concede, but again, with Kelly Chan on the sideline for a deliberate knockdown, surely it would only be a matter of time before the full strength two Blues would get through. I think that was Elani Benesse. Just checking my score sheet here. I think it was Elani Benesse, the first forward on the scorecard. And I apologise to say Perez, number 8. Conversion is successful in the meantime. And that's 34 points to 0. Western Sydney 2 Blues leading the Briars. Kick-off once again as the smoke clouds in the background over Rothwell Park, and hear some sirens. Hope everything's okay. That might be in poor taste, but you do have to say the two Blues have been on fire so far. Up 34 points to 0 over the Briars, and on their way to their first competition points of the year, and will take maximum points, assuming there isn't some sort of Rothwell miracle. Strong carry for Tialo. They wanted a tip tackle penalty, I think, not forthcoming. Benesse knocked backwards, still with two Blues at the moment. Through the hands, and Rene Petty about 30 away now. Two Blues attacking. Bryce try to come up quickly, still defending with 14. Kelly Chan on the sideline for another few minutes at the very least. And they cut through again into the 22-metre zone. The two Blues, and 15 away. Strong counter up. Can she keep a body up right now? She's got to roll away. And the referee's actually going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say there was no release. And I think given the amount of time that passed, he's absolutely correct. Briars penalty, 15 from their own line. June Orr, ball in hand. Looking for the sideline, I think. Marks her spot and hoofs it just about over the sideline. Line out to come for the women in gold on their home patch. First time ever of Briars Women's 15 playing a home game on Rothwell Park, and it's absolutely fantastic, but if we're being honest, shouldn't have taken 103 years and hopefully won't take that long to see them back here, and in fact it won't, assuming the draw goes ahead as planned. That kick hasn't gone as planned because it's right back with the two Blues, and the two try scorer, Juliana Colliot, brought down 28 away. Benesse through the hands, Futialo. Futialo cuts through like a hot knife through butter. and is going to go under the post for try number 7 for Western Sydney. And the two Blues lead 39-0, kick to come. And sadly for Briars as well, that puts them over 100 points conceded in the first 2 games as well. Unfortunately, nothing positive on the scoreboard to balance that out either. So by my count, that's 2 tries to Futialo as well. Her and Juliana Colliot will be looking for their hat-trick. 2 Blues look set to take the Easter chocolates away. They head back up the M4, premiership points in hand. We have a change in kicking here as well. No goal. Ailani Penese with the attempted goal. It's 39 points to 0. Western Sydney 2 Blues still leading the Briars. Again, still down to 14 players at the moment. Kelly Chan Sinbind for a deliberate knockdown. Unfortunately, can't see the current score of the men's in the Borneo Sevens. The women's had a loss earlier this morning as we almost get taken out by a rogue football from ground level up here in the Ted Stockdale Pavilion at Rothwell Park. That would have been an expensive landing. Again, thank you, Knight Frank, your partners in property, sponsor of the Knight Frank New South Wales Rugby Union Women's Premiership. They've been supporters of women's rugby in New South Wales since 2022. And if you want to find out more about Sydney women's rugby, go online to sydneywomen's.rugby online. So again, making sure we get our sponsors in, especially if there are any more footballs heading our way. Do Knight Frank do insurance? I'm not so certain. One thing 2 Blues do is go around the outside, and through Futialo goes once more, looking for a hat trick, still untouched basically. Goodaka makes a tackling cover, pops it inside to Juliana Colliot, hands it outside, and Futialo is going to take the glory. So Futialo basically 3 in a row, if memory serves, maybe not, but she gets a hat trick. And the assist goes to the other player on a brace. And it's 44-0 here at Rothwell Park. With the kick to come, the 2 Blues just too good. Again, Briars' first season in the 15-a-side game. Have not even been around as far as I can remember. I've been at the club 10 years, and I think they were started well and truly after I joined. So still some teething problems in the 15-a-side game, obviously. It's a completely different beast to the 7s and the 10s that the club is more well known for, and particularly the 7s. 2 Blues, a number of years now, have been playing women's rugby in the 15-a-side form, and plenty of players with dual experience in rugby league and union. This kick comes in, hits the uprights and in. The score now, Western Sydney 2 Blues 46. Briars still yet to score with about 9 remaining. Unfortunately, a very disheartened look on the face of our women's first 15, and it's hard to blame them. The effort's certainly there, not the results just yet. But if the evolution of the women's game in general and of seeing this Briars women's team compete over the last few years is anything to go by, as soon as they get the reps in, the results will start to come, and considering that 6 of their starting 15 from last week's game against Sydney Uni are overseas at the moment, playing in Borneo at the Borneo Sevens, well, you can understand that some of the experience is missing. Not the same problem for the two Blues, at least as far as I'm aware. Brought down by the jumper, not the collar, importantly. Referee Wayne Rubin done a great job so far. I was going to say I was giving him a rap, and that pass was about 3 meters forward, but he calls it. Well done to him. Had his hands full with 2 sin bins, 1 each way today. He's done a fantastic job, as we always see from our New South Wales rugby referees, and of course no game without him. We still hope in this last 7 minutes to see some points from the Briars, still looking for their first points on field or indeed off field. Really the only way they could take competition points at the moment would be 4 quick tries, because I don't think they're going to get within 7. June order feed. I think finally back to 15 on 15, because I can't see the sin bin player in the chair anymore, the naughty chair on halfway. Wrapping around the back now, and Briars lacking a bit of direction here and just trying to find some way through. Ball is stripped out and it's ruled a knock on. So it'll be a 2 Blues scrum as time continues to tick away, approaching the 30-minute mark of this second 35-minute half in the Chikarovsky Cup. Again, no time on allowance once we hit the 35-minute mark. That'll be it, I believe. Now that I've said that, we'll probably have an extra 10 minutes of injury time, so who knows. And just while we can see in the pavilion, we've got the TV on, and again, Briars men's and women's fielding 7 sides at the Borneo Sevens over in Malaysia, and Briars so far in the second half, leading 17-7 over their opponents. Not sure who they're playing, but it's good to see the gold jersey going around the world. And of course, we go around the world just about every week, thanks to New South Wales Rugby TV. Subbies action live in the top 5 divisions. And of course now Sydney Women's Rugby Chikarovsky Cup shown live as well. Live and on demand on any device anywhere in the world. Thank you to them for continuing their support of club rugby in Sydney and indeed across the state, and wherever you're watching from Sydney, across the state or across Australia, even beyond. Thank you for joining us here at Rothwell Park this afternoon. And for our Briar supporters, and it's an unfortunate result by the look of it, but again, great to see our women's team finally fielding 15 aside on Rothwell Park as Benesse continues driving over, brings 4 or 5 jerseys with us, still with it, the 2 Blues, and trying to go out the back. That's been knocked on. Slight reprieve for the Briars, awkward looking collision and some sore bodies for sure. I hope the hot water's working in the showers downstairs. Briars trying to dig this out of the ruck again and just try and get something going, or kick charge down back into up. We'll come back for the advantage. 4 to go, unofficially up here at the broadcast position. So just a little bit of wind out of the sails here at Rothwell. 2 Blues have done what they would have set out to do, and that is take the crowd out of the equation and spoil the Easter Saturday party. Their travelling supporters to our right up here in the pavilion, very content with the result. A bonus point win, maximum points. A nice little Easter chocolate treat, essentially. Delays the feed, now it comes in, and 2 Blues almost just putting the cue in the rack there and holding very steady. Counter attack from the Briars, it's left behind, knocked backwards, says the referee. Not much help considering there was about 6 2 Blues tacklers on her. now. Briars with possession in their own 22. Advantage goes out. Assume that's a penalty, and it is. No release by the look of it. Just over 2.5 minutes unofficially. The story says the Briars dig one out here and put some points on the scoreboard. But so far, the story hasn't exactly gone to plan. Ticking towards the 2 minutes mark. And as is typical in club rugby grounds all across Sydney, someone's going to have to jump the fence and grab the ball. They go out the back, the Briars, and they've still got it, but they've turned it over. No advantage as of yet. Think it was knocked back, and Two Blues can pretty much run out the clock here if they would like to. In the 22, 8 tries already, and a 46-point lead. They don't really need to play too much more. Bonus points secured on the stroke of half time into the final 80 seconds or so of this one. Counter ruck is good from the Briars, but the referee is going to blow a penalty. Looks like it was going off feet, was the decision. The Two Blues will join the winner's circle along with Manly Wildfires and Sydney Uni this weekend, and Gordon Gazelles take on East at 10-5 in about half an hour's time. Briars breaking out of their own zone, tries the offload, it's a knock on. And with time ticking away, that may be the last use of the Gilbert for the Briars for this round 2 Chikarovsky Cup match. Not the result they would have hoped for. The Two Blues have come down the M4 and put on a great showing. They might not be done yet either, looking for a half century. Solid defensive tackle. Assistant referee, or linesman rather, keeps his arm down. Or does he? Is it a scrum or is it a line out? Looks like it's a line out. Well, will the game restart, because we've ticked down to the final second now? Well, the ball hasn't restarted play yet. Now it has. Through the hands or Harbour Bridge pass. Referee allows play to continue. The Briars, final chance to get points on the board here at Rothwell. Or looking maybe for a clearing kick. There it is, Heather. It's touched in flight, and we're playing on here. Soccer kick, needs a good bounce, doesn't get a good bounce, unfortunately. It's with Collier, still looking for a hat-trick, set up Futialo's hat-trick earlier in this second half. Blind side going again, the 15. The ball goes into touch, it's a knock-on. Referee's having a discussion here. I think the knock-on into touch will play out here. So maybe, as I said, knowing as soon as I said they don't allow time on in the Chikarovsky Cup, well, of course, that's exactly what's happened now. In fairness, we had a substantial amount of time lost for injuries earlier in the second half, so maybe the referees used a bit of common sense in that situation. And we have no other action here at Rothwell Park, and I know that the women's game sometimes is overlooked in match day schemes, and hopefully that will change over time. But a standalone fixture here at Rothwell, the traditional home ground of Briars rugby since 1923. It's great to see so many supporters, old boys and current players included, out here at Rothwell. Two Blues came to spoil the party. It's exactly what they've done. They've taken every point they can on the competition ladder. 8 tries and currently conceded nothing. Briars still looking for their first on-field scores of the season in round 2. Penalty awarded, 42 away. June Orr in the 9. Tackle over the top, but they finally get over halfway. Rainima gets over the ball. Still looking for our first point scorer in the history of Briars women's first 15. Intercepted almost. Goodacre can't grab the ball. It's with the two Blues again, just over the 10 metres line. Referee's time is the official time. He's obviously allowed some leeway given earlier stoppages, and I think that's Falanauti Patea in the 6 jersey. Tatiana Pati Archung there with the ball out the back and losing meters now, the two Blues. Again, we've hit red time, 35-minute halves. Game can't end on a penalty anyway. The Briars will have it. Two Blues now just walking back, and if Scarlett Heather looking for the touchline, hasn't found it. She's chasing her kick though. They're gonna have to get a skedaddle on here at the back, and they do just that. Heather's coming. Well, can you go from the side if there's no ruck established? I'm not sure. Briars with it. Inside, June Orr, I think that is. Towards the line. Still looking for their first points of the competition. And indeed in women's first 15 history at this club. Rainima wraps around the back of her own player. Put that whistle away, referee Ruben. We want to see some history. Over the top, for the line! Try time, Briars! Finally, belatedly, wonderfully and joyfully, some would say. I can't take credit for that, but it's history in the making, and it's history done here at Rothwell Park. Our first try scored by the women's first 15, and it comes at our home ground. What a moment. Talk about sending the punters home happy. Frame it, put that up in the museum at Briars Sports. Finally, points on the board. What a moment for a proud club. It had to come, and it eventually has, and that will probably end us here. Kofai Ruafare, a long-time Briars women's representative player. There's a few players that maybe deserve that accolade. The kick is horrible, and I'm sure she would admit that. But that's full time here. Last try wins, Briars 5, two Blues 46. They were just too good, but a historic moment. Our first points, our first try in women's 15 competition in the Chikarovsky Cup, Kofai Ruafare. And then for the two Blues, 3 tries to Alison Futialo, 2 to Juliana Collio, and then tries to Ailani Penese, Ana Sofia Marcea Perez, and Tatiana Pati Archung. And then 4 points off the boot of Tatiana Pati Archung, and Alison Futialo 2 off her boot as well. Full time here. Western Sydney spoil the party. They take the Easter chocolates home. Western Sydney 2 Blues 46, Briars 5. Thank you for joining us. Anthony Deep here with you from Briars Rugby on New South Wales Rugby TV, and we'll see you down the road.